I will make this quick.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's Lazy and let's talk about my day 5 updates. I am now level 90 and I have my Atlas progressions right here, trying to push for a little bit of more level because I think this build will finalize at around level 93. And right now my current setup has changed quite a lot, but let's quickly do a map showcase and then we can talk about how is my current build. And we can probably pick this map. Look quite rippy. This one have A1 threshold, doesn't really matter. This build have a lot better single target damage now, and also the playstyle is a lot smoother because I have added cast on crit into the build. We will go through everything a little bit later, but just to quickly showcase the build, it has a lot of damage. We have officially going into a Trinity setup, which is like an end game version of this build. We have some chase unique item to go for, but eventually I think I will go for this is most likely going to be a final update, by the way. Maybe I will only keep the quick guy updates, but this Trinity setup is what I think I'll try to go with for the end game. Yeah. So you can see here we have Tailwind. I have added Tailwind into the build. This is going to make mapping a lot faster. And I want to use this build to farm up a lot of currencies, especially now that we have the League Starter kind of finished. It's already day 4 and we do a lot of damage. I'm not even sure where that rogue Exile is. And there you go, he's dead. So yeah, that's a lot of damage. We also at 10 stack of Tailwind, we are at 80% evasion, which is quite good. I opted to go for a full evasion build instead of going for a hybrid ES. And the reason is I just want to make this build to go and farm very fast. I want to make some currencies. I don't really mind dying at this point. We get to level 90. Even if we don't get the last 3 point and get the jewel slot, I'm fine with that. 90 should be the goal and target for most build anyway. Even I guess like some people want to chase for level 100 and you could go for hybrid evasion goal stance and it should be a bit more tanky that way. Some people also go block. So there are a lot of versions of the Lightning Spear Amazon at this point. So this is going to be my versions, and I kind of test through a lot of things today as well. I have also tested the infamous Tangle Tongue that was featured in Jungwon video a few hours ago. And also, actually one of the chase items that I want for the build is also featured in there, and it went from 8 and 9 divine all the way to 60 divine. So I could not showcase that in this version of the build today because it's kind of out of my budget right now. Mana Siphon is just broken. Okay, so for single target damage, it is one button at this point. You just hold out Stormlands, and we have a cast on crit set up for the sniper mark, and you don't really need to do much. So as you can see, I just run around, hold out Stormlands, and I do a lot of damage here. You have to position your Stormlands a bit better, and you can see this is a tier. Okay, well, she kind of lived with like 0 HP here. So this is a tier 4 difficulty boss. I got 1 more point, and yeah, so at this point I think single target damage is going to be pretty good. And I guess it doesn't let me get out. Okay, well, I guess that is the map showcase. I want to do a bit more mappings, but you kind of get the idea from the previous day. The setup is basically a little bit more tanky. We have and faster. We have 80% evasions. Tanky, faster. We are going to do as much damage, if not more, because we are right now running a Trinity setup. So let's talk about it. And you can roughly see here, I kind of test out everything. And finally, we get to drop the red flare conduit, which we use for pretty much the whole league start, which is really good. And bring our setups, which is why I don't use the overcharge chakra anymore. And I also roughly tested out the Tangle Tank. And yeah, so this was pretty hype. 4 critical hit is supposed to be a thing where basically if we roll for critical hits and if we get 2 roll and both are crits, then we get basically double our critical damage bonus. The only downside is this have a lower flat damage. But I guess if you really scale the critical damage bonus higher with some extra cold damage, extra gain as elemental damage, it should scale well enough to the point where it probably going to outscale high physical damage weapons. And I was testing out some stuff, but this was my tree right now. I kind of spec'd out kind of trick because I tested out some stuff and ended up with this, but ultimately you still want an accuracy spear. But let's go over the skill gem first. Real quick, I have Malice in here. Malice? I think it's Malice. Anyway, so ultimately the end goal setups, the chase unique item is going to be Sacred Flame, which surprisingly enough, it's like 60 divine. I'm not sure what happened, but it was quite cheap in 0.1, and I did have that on my Blood Mage as well, so there's that. And yeah, so Malice, we have Critical Weakness Aura, so we'll have an easier time to basically crit when the enemy is in our presence, which is 4 meters. So you can see when I was doing the boss, I kind of run around the boss, but you want to stay near melee. You don't have to be in melee, but you want to stay near melee, so you get to apply the critical weakness to the boss. For infused weapons, because right now I am level 90, I get all 6 slots on here. So long shots, embiter is really good, and because we are running Trinity, so embiter basically I don't need to run power charge anymore. But for cold infuse, you can see here cold damage, fire infuse, the same amount of cold damage, and even lightning infuse, we do the same amount of cold damage, which means that it's going to feed into our Trinity with the cold damage whenever we infuse our weapon attack. Then we have concentrated effect, we have rising tempest, we have blind here. So my 6th link I put in, 5th link I put in blind, but you probably can put in by first rising tempest. I still haven't been able to properly test this out fully, but at least it should give 12% more damage. And the best case scenario is it works like what I assume it to work. And this is not a trigger, like again it's an attack, so it's going to give you 36% more elemental damage for your infused weapon, which will help contribute to the freeze build up as well. For lightning spear, basically we dropped overcharge, and I add in deliberations for 20% more damage because we are on the Roa anyway. So this downside of 30% more movement speed penalty while using support skill is negated. And I also have bullseye here, fork, perpetual charge. I kind of swap in bullseye because I drop fast-sighted and to focus on a more single target damage setups, get more crits for my setup, because I cannot drop potential wreck. Oh, I was in my other setup. Wow. So supposedly I should have done more damage because this was my red blade conduit setup I was testing earlier. Anyway, after this video, I'll make sure the tree is updated properly. I think this is what I want to go for. So I'll make sure that the passive skill trees after this is correct. Sorry about that. for the Stonelands, I have added Overextend, and this is because I have 5 link now, and Overextend is very strong. It has the downside, which is negated if you are riding on a roller. You cannot be dazed. The support skills basically do 30% more critical damage bonus, which is going to be pretty good for our build because we also crits a lot. Lightning infusions for more damage, primal armaments, scatter shots, and blindsided also very good because now I have moved blind to infused weapons, so we are going to pretty much have perma uptime on the blind, and any support that, blindsided is just a new support that adds more critical damage and more chance to critical hits, which is extremely good anyway. And I have also added cast on crit setups for Sniper Mark, so we don't have to do that rotation anymore. We are going with Sniper Mark, Profusions, Ingenuity, and Inspirations for less cost. And you don't really have to do anything with the setups. Basically, just throw down Stonelands on boss. The Stonelands will crits, and then proc that Frenzy Charge from the Sniper Mark, and then it will just crits and cast again, and it's like you don't really have to do anything. It's literally one button, just throw out Stonelands. And for Trinity support, it might take a while to explain this thing, but I'll just keep it simple. Basically, with our setups, we have lightning damage from Stonelands, we have cold damage from infused weapons, we have fire damage from the Painter Servant Glove, a little bit of it. Originally, I was gonna go with Sacred's Flame, but I didn't get to buy it before general videos, because I was lacking. Otherwise, I would have bought it. I didn't know that it could go up that high anyway, but it is the beginning of the league. It's like only the 5th day, so it is expected. I think that unique, unless something changed, but the unique is quite common, so the price should come down relatively pretty soon. And I also get to run Wind Dancer now, Precisions, Maim, Hint, very good, because our offhand setup is now a Scepter, so we get to run with a lot more spirits, and we don't have to run Red Flag Conduit anymore. You can have spirits on your body hammer. We are running this Black Insignia, so you can even have the Corruptor roll for spirit on here as well. Overall, it's just very good. And Combat Frenzy, Herald Thunder, same thing. Electrocute, Neural Overload is really good. We mandatory for us because we can't use Kitovo Current anyway, because we need Painter Servant to basically activate our Trinity. The Roa mount is just an amazing spirit gems. The mount is amazing in mapping in general. For our gear, and this is not the best spear that you can get for sure. I just have high physical damage roll on here. This one dropped for me myself, so this one is roughly 500 physical DPS with some elemental damage here. Ideally, I would get high accuracy rating so I can spec back into penetrate for a lot more damage that way. But I also need to properly test out the Tangle Tongue thing as well, so more on that later. For the rings, we are looking for physicals, evasions, accuracy rating. We want physicals, so because we are using Painter Servants, and also we really don't need that much more damage. I think for single target damage, it's a different story, but it might just be how 0.2 is right now, so you kind of have to just do the boss mechanics. A better gears for sure, it's gonna get better. My spear is just terrible for this build, like I'm not utilizing the accuracy rating and stuff like that on the spear, so we can probably get much better spear here. The other ring also changed, because when we swap to the setups, just FYI, we will be really hungry for attributes. This is because we need 133 intelligent to run the cast on crits at the lowest level, which is level 14. When you go on the trade site, you can specifically search for a cast on critical gems. Also, make sure that you put the gem level to be level 14. And this is because 14 have the lowest intelligence requirements at 133. And this will need a lot of attributes, so like 128 there. And you can get intelligence on your rings, you can get it on your scepters. But yeah, you can get it on your passive skill tree as well. For your body armor, you want to have attributes, you want evasions, you want some sort of spirits. I will have a spirit breakdown sections in the written guide, but basically you can get spirits on your helmet as well. And ultimately the goal is to use Sacred Flame, so we'll need to get spirit somewhere else beside the scepters. But for now, this is going to be my setup. For the belt, basically we replace Brinabas and just get one with good resistance. You can get maximum life on here. I get one with the flash charge game, so I can kind of sustain in pinnacle boss fight with my flask. Still haven't been able to find the proper mana flask that I want. But the star of the show is actually Omen's Scepter, because it's a budget replacement for Sacred Flame, and it gave me critical weakness, which we already know critical weakness is amazing. It gives us base crit chance, and you always want to surround the enemy in your presence. You also want to get intelligence on here, you want to get strength or dexterity, depending on what the attribute you are lacking. You also want to have spirit on here as well. So around this range is fine. Again, I'll have it break down in the written guides for you guys to make the decision yourself. Just remember that it should be pretty flexible, because we'll swap to Sacred Flames. But anyway, the rest of the gear is pretty basic. So let me see here if you use avatar. Oh, there is. So these items basically give you double your critical damage bonus. So if you want to scale it, I think right now it's doing less damage than my current sphere, but if you want to scale it higher, you probably want to have really good critical damage bonus to be able to beat the other flat red damage sphere, but this would need further testing. Other than that, let's talk about the passive skill trees. For the passive skill trees, essentially, I only switch up a few more points, mainly for single target damage. And I'm going for nearsighted because at close range, which means around 2 meters, you do more damage. So you do want to hug the boss. And we want to hug the boss anyway for the Malice Aura to give us more crits, so there's that. In combination of that, we can also grab the blind effect here, which is extremely strong. I briefly talked about it before, but making the monster have less evasion rating is a lot better than scaling more accuracy. This is because scaling accuracy have a diminishing return. So all in all, this blind effect will be a lot better to scale. And I kind of have to path up here because White Storm is just very good. Lightning damage in general have a bigger roll range, so it usually goes from like 1 to 4 to all the way to like 47 here or even higher. Just lightning damage in general, if you have more maximum damage, it will just scale a lot better. And which is why Wildstorm is just a really good node for any lightning build in general. Anyway, so Wildstorm is a good node. We'll have to justify going all the way up. I have to put everything in the POB to figure that out. The problem I have with POB for PoE 2 is it's not really functioning that well for the Huntress class right now. So I don't have like a proper estimations on what node is good to take. From my personal experience, Wildstorm should be a pretty good node to take. Especially you can path up there and grab a few more nodes. But for now, this is my passive skill trees. Hopefully Wildstorm is good. And once I figure out how to configure the POB properly for like nodes like penetrates, I'll put up a full build guides which will explain everything, the gearing step by steps and the leveling process and everything. So look out for that. But you can see here the trees also, I had to grab a lot of intelligence note just to hit that 133 intelligence requirement. it might be easier running on a different spear base because this one requires 64 strength. There is a sea glass base which use dex and int, which probably might fit more for this build. And this is my current Atlas tree. I focus on getting more experience right now. I want to push for at least level 93 to finish the build, get my last jewel socket. And so 3 more level to be able to get that. And I think that should cover everything for the day 5 updates. And again, might be my last update in a while. I want to work on a full build guide for everyone, even the leveling process as well, if you guys want to get into this build. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.